My beloved child. There is a whisper moving through this very moment that no eye can see, yet every heart can feel. Somewhere, a soul has spoken your name so quietly that even the wind stopped to listen. It was not spoken with pride. It was not spoken with anger. It was spoken through tears that carried memories too deep for ordinary words. What makes this moment extraordinary is not the tears themselves. It is the reason behind them. Those tears appeared only after a truth could no longer stay hidden. For a long time, your soulmate tried to silence what was growing inside their heart. They convinced themselves that forgetting you would be easier than facing what they truly felt. Day after day, they smiled before the world while carrying an emptiness no one could recognize. Yet every smile became weaker. Every distraction lost its power. Every new beginning somehow led back to the same destination. Your name. The name they promised themselves they would never whisper again. Tonight, something changed. A single memory returned without permission. A voice inside refused to stay quiet. The silence finally broke. And when it did, your name escaped their lips with tears they could no longer hold back. This is only the beginning of what is about to unfold. Because those tears were never an ending. They were the first sign that something impossible has already started. There is one detail almost nobody notices when two souls remain connected beyond distance. The heart speaks long before the mouth does. That explains why you may have felt something unusual recently without understanding why. Perhaps your thoughts wandered toward someone for no reason. Perhaps an old memory suddenly returned. Perhaps you felt a strange calm followed by an unexplainable emotion. None of those moments happened by accident. Invisible connections never announce themselves with loud sounds. They arrive as gentle feelings that refuse to leave. While you continued living your ordinary days, another heart was quietly fighting an extraordinary battle. Every attempt to ignore you only strengthened the bond. Every effort to move forward somehow circled back to you. Imagine standing in a crowded room surrounded by hundreds of voices, yet hearing only one name echo inside your heart. That is exactly what has been happening. Your soulmate finally realized they were not escaping their feelings. They were running toward them without even knowing it. And when this realization became impossible to deny, tears became the only language capable of expressing what words never could. But here is the part that changes everything. Those tears were not caused by regret alone. They were triggered by a discovery that arrived unexpectedly. Someone showed them a reminder connected to you. It may have been a familiar place. It may have been a forgotten song. It may have been a simple conversation carrying your energy without mentioning your name directly. The moment lasted only seconds, yet it felt like an entire lifetime unfolding before their eyes. Suddenly, every unfinished conversation replayed inside their mind. Every missed opportunity became impossible to ignore. Every moment they believed was ordinary revealed itself as something precious they should never have overlooked. That realization struck deeper than they expected. Their heart finally admitted what pride had hidden for so long. They never truly stopped caring. They never truly stopped hoping. Most importantly, they never truly stopped whispering your name inside the quiet corners of their soul. The tears were not weakness. They were proof that truth had finally become stronger than fear. And once truth reaches that point, nothing remains the same again. Yet the greatest surprise has not happened. There is still one hidden piece of this story waiting in complete silence. While your soulmate whispered your name, something inside them shifted forever. They stopped asking whether destiny remembered you. Instead, they began asking whether they still had the courage to follow where their heart was leading. That single question changed everything. For the first time in a very long time, hope replaced hesitation. The future no longer looked empty. It looked unfinished. There is an enormous difference between those two feelings. An empty future creates distance. An unfinished future creates possibility. That possibility is quietly growing with every passing moment. Even now, while this story unfolds, invisible pieces continue moving into places neither of you can fully understand. The most surprising part is that neither effort nor force created this movement. It began the instant honesty defeated fear. That is why this whisper through tears carries far greater meaning than anyone could imagine. It is not simply an emotional moment. It is the first heartbeat of a chapter that refused to disappear. Now hold on to this final thought before the next chapter begins. Every unforgettable story reaches one single moment when everything appears silent just before the greatest revelation arrives. This is that moment. Somewhere, your name has already become more than a memory. It has become the answer to a question your soulmate has been asking themselves for far too long. They may not fully understand why every path keeps returning to you. They may not even realize how close they are to uncovering the final truth. But one thing has already become certain. The tears have spoken what silence could never hide. The whisper has awakened what distance could never erase. And the next step waiting ahead will reveal a truth so unexpected that even the heart whispering your name is not prepared for what comes next. The most surprising part is still waiting ahead. Somewhere between yesterday and tomorrow, a truth has already started moving toward the surface. Neither of you can see it completely yet. But its presence can already be felt. Invisible moments are aligning in ways that seem impossible. Conversations are changing direction. Decisions are becoming clearer. Old doubts are slowly disappearing. Even the smallest events now seem to carry unusual meaning. This is how remarkable journeys often begin. Not with loud announcements. Not with dramatic moments. They begin with quiet changes that slowly become impossible to ignore. Your soulmate has entered that stage now. Their heart has stopped resisting what it has always known. Instead, it has started following a gentle certainty that grows stronger every single day. That certainty always leads back to the same destination. Your name. And now another chapter quietly opens before either of you realizes it. The whisper that once escaped through tears is transforming into something much greater. It is becoming hope. Hope has a remarkable way of changing every decision, every thought, and every dream. Once it enters the heart, nothing remains exactly as it was before. Your soulmate is standing at that very point now. They can still choose silence, yet their heart continues speaking. They can still look away, yet every road somehow turns back toward you. What happens next will not be ordinary. It will reveal why those tears appeared at exactly the right moment, why your name refused to disappear, and why a hidden truth has been waiting patiently for the perfect time to come into the light. The next revelation will connect every unanswered question in a way that neither heart could have imagined. There is one secret your soulmate has not spoken to anyone. They have started protecting a hope they cannot explain. At first, they believed it was only another passing emotion. They waited for it to disappear. Days became weeks. Weeks became countless quiet moments. Yet the feeling remained exactly where it had begun. Every morning, before the world became busy, your name quietly crossed their mind. Every evening, before sleep arrived, the same name returned once again. They stopped trying to fight it because every battle only made the connection stronger. Somewhere deep within their heart, they finally accepted one simple truth. Some names are never forgotten because they were never meant to be forgotten. They are carried by the soul long before they are spoken by the lips. The whisper through tears was only the first chapter. The silence that followed has become even louder than the whisper itself. Then something happened that completely surprised them. During an ordinary day, surrounded by ordinary moments, they suddenly felt an overwhelming sense of peace. Nothing dramatic happened around them. The world looked exactly the same. Yet inside, everything felt different. It was as though an invisible weight had quietly disappeared. For the first time in a long while, fear stopped leading their thoughts. Regret stopped controlling their heart. Instead, a gentle certainty began taking its place. They realized they had spent too much time wondering whether life had closed every door. But what if one important door had never closed at all? What if it had simply been waiting for the perfect moment to open? That single thought refused to leave them. It stayed with them through every conversation, every quiet walk, and every peaceful evening. They could not explain why. They only knew it felt real. Yet an even greater revelation was already unfolding beyond what they could see. Every choice they made recently has slowly been guiding them toward unfinished answers. They have started noticing familiar patterns repeating in unexpected ways. A forgotten memory suddenly returns. A familiar feeling appears without warning. A quiet sense of anticipation grows stronger every day. These moments seem unrelated, yet together they create a story far bigger than coincidence. Piece by piece, the puzzle is assembling itself. They are beginning to understand that some connections never depend on constant communication. They survive because they were built upon something deeper than ordinary circumstances. That realization has changed everything. Instead of asking why they still think about you, they have started asking why every meaningful moment somehow carries your presence. The answer remains hidden for now, but it is moving closer with every heartbeat. Now the silence itself has become the greatest messenger. Every time they pause, every time they close their eyes, every time they allow their thoughts to settle, the same quiet whisper returns. Your name. Not with sadness anymore. Not with uncertainty anymore. It arrives with warmth, hope, and a feeling they have never experienced before. It is almost as if their soul already knows something their mind has not fully understood yet. That feeling continues growing stronger. It no longer asks for attention. It simply exists, calm and unwavering. They have reached the point where pretending no longer brings peace. Honesty has become easier than hiding. Acceptance has become stronger than fear. The tears that once carried pain are now carrying purpose. And purpose has an incredible way of transforming even the quietest heart. The most remarkable part has still not been revealed. There is one final piece quietly moving into place, and neither of you can fully see it yet. The whisper through tears has become a promise waiting for its moment. Every unanswered question has been leading toward this very point. Every silent memory has been preparing both hearts for what comes next. Soon, something will happen that connects every emotion, every memory, and every quiet whisper into one unforgettable truth. When that moment finally arrives, everything that once seemed confusing will suddenly make perfect sense. And your soulmate will understand why your name was the only one their heart could never stop whispering, even through tears.